Dumulas na sa laag ka. Again, Princess Malabote. Sorry, Malabote. Uh, Please check the attendance. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, by 11:15, we will start our discussion. Please tell your classmates to be here na. Thank you. Okay, we will start our discussion. Before I will proceed, no, there are some students nga wala pa nakatake og exam. Katong night time, please be here so that ma-check na nako kay pasa na sa inyong grado. Thank you. Madunggan ko ninyo? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, we are now in our next topic, which is the market research or research. I know you are familiar with this one because at this moment, siguro, no, sa inyong second semester, na mo research, right? Am I right? Ma'am Selva, do you have research?
Yes, ma'am.
At the end of this module, you students are expected to explain what market research is. You have to understand the meaning of data gathering in market research, identify the different data gathering techniques, and of course, you have to appreciate the importance of market research, especially if you are about to build a business. Okay, so question, what comes in your mind when you read the word market research or research? Anyone? In your own idea, again, Tubal. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tubal. Who else? Or what else? Ano sa mga possibility nga
And ma'am,
imuhang
gather information about
imuhang
target markets and customers.
again, what's this? Irania? Again.
Gather information about target markets and customers.
Okay, you have to gather information about your target customers or your target market. Okay. So when you say about market research, it can be defined as the process of, as what Anton and Irania said, you have to gather. After you gather, you analyze and interpret the information about the products or the services to be offered for sale to the potential consumers in the market, no? So market research is an important component of business strategy. Kumbaga, you have to do an effort to gather information about your target market or customer, especially if mag-build ka or mag-put up ka og business. Okay, so in science, market research is similar to research paper. Familiar mo sa research paper? Are you familiar with that one? Silent man, yes. Okay. So, okay, nga si Anton yes. So, in which, no, the entrepreneur will act as a researcher. He will need to investigate before making a conclusion. Before siya mag-put up or mag-conclude siya nga mao na ang iyahang mga target customer or target market, he need to do some research or market research. Okay, like for example, you are about to establish a business in a clothing line, di ba? Through market research, you are going to ask the customers, mag-collect kag mga data
on what kind of style nga ilahang gusto. Gusto ba nila og K-pop style or they want Iraq style? Through market research, makagather kag information kung unsa nga klase ang nga style ang imuhang i-put up nga business or i-introduce sa imuhang customer. Nakuha ko ninyo? Like for example, kung gusto
Yes,
ka,
ma'am.
yes, kung magbuot-buot lang kag K-pop style kay mao na imong gusto, pero dinha sa imong mga customers dili man day sila gana sa K-pop. So dili kumbaga failed ang imuhang business, it's because wala po kay market research. That is why market research is very important. So question, why is it that we need to do or the entrepreneur need to conduct a market research before ta mag-put up din nga business nga no kailangan pa man ta og market research? Hmm? In your own opinion, in your own idea. Sa inyo walang ano, you don't need to Google. Anong kailangan man? Why is it that you need to ask someone? You need to ask the community regarding sa imuhang business. Hello, anyone? Your own opinion, basta nangatulog mo ha? Kadyot ra kay ni, ang atong discussion. Okay, according to Philip, to identify the trend of the customers so that the business will succeed. Okay, to enable your business to be successful. Very good. What else? You can write in the chat box if you don't want to turn on your camera. Si Tubal na jud akong estudyante dani ay. Sige lang siya kuan. Ako na ning iban si Philip sunod. How about the others? How about Budlaw? How about Boris? Basaw na to. Okay. According to Hermano, para dili makalas imong kwarta, ma'am. Yes. 'Di ba? Especially kung 100,000 na ang imuhang ipagawas, dili lang kay okay ra kung 1,000, 'di ba? Kung kag 1,000 na imong puhunan, okay ra. Dili kay sakit. Pero kung kag 100,000, kalas ka para dili makalas ang imong kwarta, okay? Para makabaluta unsay mas profitable nga pwede nato ma-business, ma'am. Yes. Very good. That is why market research is very important. Help you develop a successful marketing strategy. From the word itself, successful. No, entrepreneurs will really need to do a research or market research before starting or establishing a business in a certain area in order to reduce the chances of failure para dili ka ma-failed sa imuhang business. Gusto ka og successful. Okay, according to Antigua, market research is essential. Okay, importante for starting and running a successful business. It gives your business direction. Yes, it is your guidance and helps you to stay on top of what your customers want. Market research is useful to assess the viability of business or the product area. Okay, so through market research, now you will determine how viable and successful the launching of your product or service would be. You will know what they really need and what you can improve sa imuhang service or sa imuhang product. The more nga mabaluan nimo, the more you can give a better or useful product and service sa imuhang customers. Okay. Are you familiar with the data collection? I know you are familiar with this one. Since high school pala, since high school, since, yeah, junior high school, na ni Dane, na topic ni, no? When you say about data collection, it is the most valuable. When you say about valuable, important, no? Kumbaga, precious tool in any type of research study. Inaccurate, when you say about inaccurate, kung dili insakto ang imuhang pag-collect sa data, it may cause mistakes and ultimately lead to invalid results. That is why in collecting your data, naa kay mga techniques, dili lang kay mag-survey lang ka. Kailangan na pa kay option para valid ang imong result sa imuhang market research. So, there are tips in collecting the data. We have to, first is you have to organize collected data as soon as it is possible. I-organize ginani mo kung naa na kay makuha nga data para ma-arrange nimo and mabalaan nimo ang result. Know what message you want to get across and then collect data that is relevant to the message. Kolektahon to nimo ang mga data katong mga result which is importante para sa imuhang business. 'Di ba? Dili maguna nimo ma-please ang everyone. Kung mag-survey ka or ask kag question sa ubang tao naman ko iban mga yaga-yaga. Of course, you have to disseminate that one. Imo na dili nimo na apilon sa pag-collect sa data. Katong i-keep nimo ang mga importante nga mga message which is related sa imuhang business. Next is collect more data. So what I've said, dili lang ka mag-focus sa question. Napay other way. So later on, no, mag-discuss ta what are those techniques in collecting data and create more data. And lastly is take note of interesting or significant data. Imo tong ipang take note kung unsa tong mga interesting or katong mga importante nga mga data. So those are the tips in collecting the data. Okay, now let's move on to the 3 different data collection techniques. So are you familiar with the survey, the interview, and the focus group discussion? When you say about survey, that's a question. Now, through questionnaire lang na siya. Okay, surveys are the most common way to gather primary research with the use of questionnaires or interview schedule. This can be done via direct mail. No, pwede nimo i-send ang imuhang question regarding sa imuhang business through email, through internet, pwede po face-to-face or on the web. Pwede mo mag-Viber, pwede mo mag-video call. Question lang na siya, ikaw ang mag-check. Siya ang mag-answer, ikaw ang mag-check. Okay? So, when designing or constructing your own research questionnaire, dili ka mag-research sa Google. Kay dili man ang Google nag-put up of business, ikaw man. So, you are going to make your own research questionnaire. Remember the following guidelines. Mo ni imong guidelines kung maghimo ka og survey questionnaire or questionnaire. Make it sure that is simple as possible. Keep it simple as possible. Sayo na gid siya basahon. Kung pwede, Tagalog para masabtan sa uban. Remember, your target market or your customer has individual differences. Dili tanan makasabot, dili pud tanan makabasa, or dili pud tanan dali makasync sa imuhang gihimo nga question. So, as much as possible, it should be simple. Okay, make sure it is clearly appealing and easy to read. Dali ra basahon. Medyo dako, dili kayo iyang Ayang font is katong mga design ayaw. Imo pong number sa imo ang font is 10. Lisod kayo mabasa. Kailangan sakto lang siya. Okay? Cluster or block related questions. Okay, make it sure that the questions is related sa imuhang business. Move from complex question, when you say about complex, diba, lisod, to more specific questions. Make sure your questions are concise and easily understood. Dali ra masabtan. Avoid questions that are difficult to answer. O dili itong pang Miss Universe na question. Okay? Make sure response scales used are consistent with categories that are mutually exclusive. So those are your um, guidelines no in designing and constructing your own research questionnaire. Okay. The second one is moto ang survey. The second one is interview. Okay. Interview is one of the most reliable. Kung may reliable is murag katuuhan. Mas reliable siya kaysa survey. Again, interview is one of the most reliable and credible ways of getting relevant information from your target customers. It is typically done in person between the researcher and the entrepreneur, and a respondent where the researcher asks pertinent questions that will give significant pieces of information about the problem that he will solve. Kaya nganong reliable man siya and credible kaysa survey? It's because kanang survey lang, di ba survey question lang, check, 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 check. Nayuban nga patakaan lang with a respitar lang, no? Without reading kung unsa na ka question, check, check lang, check, check, check. So kung baga dili nimo makita kung true ba siya gyud sa imuhang gi-ask nga question. Unlike sa interview, makita nimo face to face ang isa ka tao kung tinuod ba gyud siya. And of course, no, through interview, pwede siya maka-ask og questions deep, maka-ask pa siya og deep nga questions regarding sa imong business. Okay? Nasabtan ko ninyo? That is why it is reliable and credible. So there are methods of interview. We have the personal interview. Ano yung face-to-face. Okay, personal interview, these are the traditional method of conducting an interview. When you say about traditional, kumbaga old style, it allows the researcher to establish relationship with potential participants and therefore gain their cooperation. Nagi cooperation when you say about personal interview, kung face-to-face interview, unlike sa question lang, unlike sa survey. The second one is the phone and telephone interview. Okay. These are less expensive and less time consuming. Less expensive and less time consuming. Dili na kakailangan magpa-snack. Diba, pag mag-face-to-face, of course, ikaw magpahumot po baya ka sa imuhang gi-interview. So, di pa napapasnakon. Less expensive, kaya naara ka sa imong office, you don't need to go somewhere. Diba? And less time consuming. But the disadvantage are that the response rate is not as high as the face-to-face interview. So, dili gid siya pareha sa rate sa face-to-face interview. Kaya makita man yun mo ang dagway. The way how he responds, the way how he or she express his or her thoughts sa imuhang questions. but considerably higher. Mas okay siya, mas syada siya kaysa mailed questionnaire. Okay? Nasabtan ko ninyo? Silent mean yes. Okay, next is the last technique in data collection is the FGD or focus group discussion. It is an excellent method for generating and screening ideas and concepts. It can be moderated group interviews and brainstorming sessions that provide information on users' needs and behaviors. Muna siya brainstorming. Daghan na nga mga tao, group of people. It is an excellent method for generate. Anong excellent man siya? Di kung patang ta kung sa interview is kamo lang duha face to face, di ba? Kung kamo lang duha, inyo lang idea ang nagsumpake. Unlike kung daghan, mas, di ba, nga nilang, the more nga daghan, the more idea ang mugawas. So, that is why it is an excellent method for generating and screening ideas and concepts. So, there are the following consideration in the use of focus group discussions in the market research. So, first is the length of the session is between 90 and 120 minutes. Kumbaga, 1 hour and a half and 2 hours ang inyong discussion. Depende kung interested or interesting ang inyong topic. Okay? Next is conduct focus groups discussion with 8 to 10 participants per group. Dili 1 to 3 lang nga or dili 1 to 5. As much as possible, 8 to 10 participants per group. As what I've said, mas daghan ang tao, mas daghan ang kagrupo, mas daghan ang idea nga inyong ma-generate. Next is assign an expert moderator or facilitator who can manage group dynamics. Of course, no, kailangan na kay facilitator or na kay moderator para dili ang iyong discussion is dili magkagubot. Para makabalo mo na ay guide sa inyo those questions and sa inyong pag-open forum. Next is use a use a semi-structured or open format discussion. Muna open forum. Pwede mo tanan makastorya. Dili kay ikaw ang pinaka-bright, ikaw lang mo storya. All of you should give the ideas about your business. Next is strive for consistency in the group composition. For example, no, it may not be advisable to have business customers and retail customers in the same focus group. So their needs are very different. Lahi-lahi ang ilahang mga needs. So those are the consideration in the use kung FGD mo or mag-group discussion mo in market research. So those are the types or the techniques in collecting the data. So do you have any questions regarding sa techniques in collection? Wala. So, end of our discussion. So, maulang to tong discussion about sa market research. Actually, magamit ninyo kung maghimo na mo og business plan. Wala man ko nag-announce ninyo, no? So, maybe sa Victorious lang to na announce ko that you're going to choose, unsa man yung gusto, are you going to choose your grupo? Or ako ang magpili kung kinsa inyong grupo or magbunot-bunot mo kung kinsa inyong grupo. Sa inyong gusto? Blue. Hello? Sige, magbunot-bunot na lang mo. Ako na lang magbuot, magbunot-bunot na lang mo kung kinsa inyong kagrupo. Okay, for the summary of our lesson, no? When you say about market research, it can be defined as the process of gathering. You have to analyze, and then you have to interpret the information about the products or the services to be offered for sale to the potential consumers in the market. So there are techniques of data collection. We have the survey. When you say about survey, this is a form of questionnaire. Now, this is the most common way to gather primary research with the use of questionnaires. So this can be done via direct mail, phone, email, face-to-face, or through web. The second technique is the interview. It is reliable and credible of getting relevant information from your target customer. So there are two methods of interview. We have the personal and the phone or telephone. When you say about personal, these are traditional method of conducting an interview. It allows the researcher to establish relationship with your potential participants. Ang telephone is less expensive and less time consuming. Okay, the third one is the FGD or focus group discussion. This is an excellent method for generating and screening ideas and concepts regarding sa inyong market research. Okay, so no more questions. No more questions. So this will be your activity, no? You're going to conduct a survey among 15 high school students in our school about milk tea. Okay, use the survey form below. Okay, I have here the example of survey form. Name of the respondent. Actually, kuha na ko ni ang optional. They really have to write their name para mabalaan na ko nga wala mo nag-cheat. Kay base niya og kamo lang ang nagsulat-sulat din sa survey form. Then the age, the gender, grade level. So, they're just going to answer the questions. Pwede Tagalog, pwede Bisaya, pwede English. What are your reasons for buying the product? Kung sa may rason nga nung mupalit mo sa product ng milk tea. So, where do you buy the product? Asa man mo kapalit sa product? Is it available when you need it? Yes, sometimes, and no. What do you use as a substitute if it is not available? Okay, kung walay milk tea, unsa may mo ang substitute? Is the price affordable for you? Yes or no? Okay, again you're going to conduct a survey. All you have to do is to give this survey form to those 15 high school students in our school about milk tea. Dili ka pwede mag-survey sa grade 12 polite and victorious. Dili ka pwede mag-survey sa imong mga classmates. Dito ka sa laing nga sections or dito sa laing level. All you have to do is you have to give this survey form. After nimo makuha ang 15, you are going to, di ba, mag-gather ka sa information and then you have to summarize what are the reason nganong magpalit sila sa imuha sa product ng milk tea and asa sila gapalit sa milk tea. Nakuha ko ninyo?
Yes, ma'am.
Or nagloading pa mo? Para dili kayo gasto, no? Pwede ra ninyo ni siya tungaon nga survey form, dili man gyud ingon nga whole bond paper. Butang talong bond paper, katuloon ninyo ni pagkuan, pag-copy. Then i-cut lang dayon ninyo tapos ihatag sa student. After you hatag, you have to collect them, then staple ninyo. Then after that one, you have to summarize what are the reason nga nagpalit sila and where did they buy the product. Then you have to pass it to me. Okay, nasabtan ko ninyo?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so no more questions? Kano sa man ipasa? 1 week from now, Friday. So taas kanyo inyong time. Actually, bisan og 2 days, okay na kayo ni or 1 day, mapasa na ganin ninyo. Okay ra ang 1 week? Or gusto ninyo Wednesday pass?
1 week, ma'am.
Okay,
Friday.
Okay, Friday. Late, mag-pass. As usual, deducted 20 points. 50 points na inyong activity karon. I will just send this one sa inyong Google Classroom. You can copy and i-print lang dayon ninyo. Or, mingon nga ma'am, wala man may kwarta, wala may budget. Okay, you can write. Pwede ninyo na isulat, manumanuho na ninyo pagsulat at make it sure that ano siya, presentable siya. And clean siya. Nasabtan ko ninyo?
Nasabtan, ma'am.
Okay, no more questions, clarifications. Kay base nun niya og nay magtagsa-tagsag pangutana sa ako Tapos dili na ako ma-entertain. Much better, no? Mas maayo kung napalang ta din mag-ask na mo questions regarding sa atong activity. So I guess wala na. Okay. Pwede ra po siya mag-Google Forms. Pwede. Mas maayo. But, ano man siya, Anton, ang pag-pass man nimo, pwede rin nimo i-print.